Well, there's my motor out of the 76. I pulled the top jugs off with the heads and the valve covers. And checking out the valves, I did a leak down. Front cylinder passed the leak down, back cylinder didn't. Started cleaning stuff up. Started with getting the bike all washed up. Got her degreased, power washed. And, you know, here we go. We're going to go over here. Right now, this is what I'm doing. I got my head here off the rear cylinder. I've compressed the springs. And I've taken out the keeper that runs right in here. And they're on the end of my magnet. See those? I'll bring them up to you a little bit. Yeah, I just press them down, tug them loose with a little piece of screwdriver or something, and then they come out. And you want to keep your two springs together. Set it over there. Now, look in here. This here is a valve seal. You don't see these all the time because they weren't stock, and somebody has been playing and put this on there. Looks like it might have a little wear to her, but that's what the valve seal looks like. Put that over here with the springs and the magnet. Now pull her up, flip her over. There's my valve. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't see any nice shiny metal on that edge. See that? That's the one that was actually leaking. I don't see it being burned or anything. There's a lot of carbon on it. A lot of carbon inside the head here. I don't know if you can see it. But, you know what? Let me see if I can. Got a little more light there. You see all that carbon? See inside, see if I can get some light inside there. You see where it seats there isn't real nice. It's got a lot of high carbon and things like that up on there. But I'll clean this out and I'll show you how to use the compressor on the second one and second valve there. Look at all that. Nice, huh? There's the other valve. Looks like she's got a couple miles on her, huh? Anyway. Alright, well, I'll let you go for right now. And I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, here we are. I've taken a little of this Permatex valve grinding compound. I thought it was neat. I got this from my dad last night, 1960. He was telling me about, I got this tool from him too. It's a little valve grinding machine. As you turn it, it spins back and forth. You know, just in the motion you're supposed to do. But anyway, yeah, look at this thing. He was telling me he was working on a Made in USA. That's not very often you see that anymore, is it? He was telling me that, you know, about working on his doing the valves on his 56 Crown Vic. Pretty neat piece of machinery. That'll probably help with mine. Well, I squeezed that compound around a little bit. Put a little on the end of my valve. Spread a little bit on the inside there, you can see. And now we're just going to put the valve back in there. And I'm going to attempt to get a picture here of what we're actually doing. here. Anyways, here we are again. We're going to try to prop this up. My GoPro, I just got it, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it, and I left it on to drain the batteries down, I guess. So, anyway, just trying to get you a pic here how this thing works. Okay, you hold it in there. I got the spring on here to keep everything nice and tight. You push it in there. And she's not working. But anyway, I'll spin it around just to see if I can make a little bit of... Yeah, the thing wasn't working real good there. But we'll spin it. See what I'm doing in there. Reaching around, spinning the valve here, applying a little bit of pressure. I imagine it's going to take a long while. I might have to mess with that machine a little bit, see if I can get it working. But you got the idea. Seat my valves here in this old motor. You want a motion like this. I'm using a suction cup down here from 1956. I'm saying it's lasting pretty good. With the extension for the valve grinder tool made by Zim Manufacturing. Zim valve grinder number 305. I think I'm just going to use the extension here. I'm going to run it between my palms like you would to start a fire. And you don't want to go crazy because you don't want to be drilling down through the head. You just want to clean the valve up. Make it nice and shiny. So, I'll show you what it's going to look like. Do a couple whacks that way. Can you see it? No, you can't even see it there, can you? And like I said before, you're not going to go crazy doing this. Just going to apply a little bit of light pressure and run it like you're going to start a fire. You can hear the granules in that compound grinding. It's doing good. I'm going to pull it out, just take a quick look at her. Wow, starting to see a little bit nicer metal on the edge of that. That's the part that you're grinding and seating right there. So we're starting to look a little nicer. Get a little more compound just to freshen her up a little bit. You don't have to kill it, just put a dab or two on there and run her around real quick with your finger. Even her out a little bit. Get her right on your edge you want. And in she goes again. There, sounds a little bit different, doesn't it? Now you can take this to the shop and have the guys do this, and it's going to cost you a little bit more than what it's costing me. But I got some time, and I like to do stuff like this. taking an old Ironhead, wasn't running. And by the time I'm done with her, she's going to be running. This is how you use the valve compressor. You screw this thing all the way down loose, and then you stick the one jaw underneath the bottom of the spring here, and you stick the other one on the next one up, right there. And then you turn it. You turn it like this, and you see the spring is compressing. And if you look inside there, if you look inside here, you can see the keepers right in there. So what we want to do is we want to. So what I do is I have 2 nails over here that I use for this, and I stick it into the holes in the where the bolts go, and that allows me to push on this to give me a spot to get those little keepers out. Now I'll try to give you wind up here, get a little closer. I don't think you're going to see it, but it may work. Then I like to stick a couple rags under the bottom to keep the valve where I can reach it. And what that does, it gives me one. And I'll push down on it, and I'll stick the other one around, move it around with the screwdriver a little bit. And there's 2. Okay, if you want a little bit better look at that, that's what it looks like. I'll put that right there with his brother. Actually, I'll probably leave him on the bottom of there, on the magnet, because I have a tendency to blow shit like that off. And again, there's your 2 springs. Put the valve over here. We'll pull off this weird little valve guide thingy. That's what that looks like. It's got a little ring up in here that looks like I just screwed up. Well, that's not a factory standard part anyway. And this here, so what we'll do is we'll turn this over, we'll pop this valve here out. Oh, look at this one. Now this one's a lot shinier. Look in there. The other one was black when I opened it up. But the other one was the one that was leaking. This one wasn't leaking. I'm just going to give this a lick and a promise and put it back together. There's a little black in there.